Alright guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be dissecting the film Liverleaf, or in Japanese, Misu Miso, directed by Eisuke Naito, who has previously directed other horror films with titles such as Let's Make the Teacher Have a Miscarriage Club. Yeah, you know what you're getting into basically. That's what my point is. That is a fucked up title, isn't it? Jesus. Maybe I'll try and watch it actually. Yeah, Japanese movies, especially horror movies, are filled with like exaggerated exaggeration. That's how much exaggeration there is. It's just like astonishment and lack of action. They just react on the spot, huge overreactions anyway, and then they just like die in the weirdest ways possible. So if you like that, or if you haven't seen Japanese movies before, that's basically a summary of Japanese horror. Add in fucking gory shit, usually high school girls or something like that, and you got a Japanese horror movie on your hands. Film starts with the main lead, Haruka, looking for her shoes in a locker, but her shoes are not there. Later, as she's walking home, the school bullies, which are literally every single person in the class, throw her shoes into a hole, shoes land in the mud, she then tries to get them, she then falls in the mud, they all laugh at her and they walk off, and you're like, okay, these are the bullies and they're bullying her. Turns out the school is closing, so these are the last students that will ever enter the school. They'll then graduate, and the teachers basically don't give a flying fuck because they're just like, oh, I'm going to lose my job. Students are definitely going to graduate anyway because they have to for some reason. So they just don't care about the bullying, they're not interested or anything. They're even bullied themselves to a certain extent, but it's just like completely exaggerated. Like you'd never get it. It's so exaggerated that it's just not believable. But if you can get over that, if you can accept that it's kind of like you know when you watch like a B movie, you watch like a shit movie like Sharknado or something, you know it's going to be shit, so you can kind of get rid of that and then just enjoy the movie. Get over the shitness and then you can enjoy it. That's what you got to do a little bit with this movie. Anyway, the school bullies eventually level up and they burn down her house, killing both her mum and her dad and severely burning her younger sister, like 99% covered. She's basically black and she's in like a coma and stuff, and oh, it's pretty grotesque. And that's basically where the first half of the film ends, because the camera zooms in on Haruka crying, screaming her eyes out as she's watching the house burn down. One of her classmates runs in and actually saves the little daughter, brings her outside, and she kind of gets taken to hospital, and that's basically it. First half of the film, it was like a nice slow build up. Nothing really grotesque. You just see like acts of bullying, like dead crows in her desk and shit. And they scratched some letters on her desk, which I couldn't work out. Don't know what that was about. And you actually feel for the main character. I actually thought the main character, I don't know her real name, but her name was Haruka in the movie. I thought she did a pretty decent job actually. I was intrigued by what she would do. I felt sorry for her. I thought it was high school first of all. I didn't even realise that they're junior high school. So these are like 15-year-old bullies that are like psychopaths, all of them. But as I said, Japanese movies just like exaggerate everything, so that's why. But then winter comes, and just like where I live in Japan, in Hokkaido, shit gets real. So now the revenge finally begins, and we are talking some top level grotesqueness. It's fucking raw, man, seriously. I'm talking Achilles heel snippings, stabbings in the eye, putting pins on your shoe and then kicking someone in the back. So like stabbing them basically, and then they fall down the stairs. Chopping off fingers, blunt trauma, bow and arrow to the eye, things like that. But you never ever see any police. The entire time I was watching it, I was just like, oh, where's the police? Like surely they're going to come in. Surely they're going to be doing something. They don't do anything. They're not interested at all. Children come home full of blood and the parents are just like, oh, what do you want for dinner? I know they're not focusing on that and they're just trying to make it a revenge story, but it just takes the realness to it away, and it was annoying because I was just like, oh, like just one scene, police turn up, or you see a montage of like police going through the town and they're like interviewing, or they're putting up missing child pictures, but no, none of that. It's just children dying in the middle of like the streets, and that's it. Nothing happens, nothing comes of it. Parents of the killed children eventually go to school and they're like, yo, Mrs. Takahashi, I don't know what the teacher's name is, and they're like, yo, where's our kids? What's going on? And they start shouting. This Yakuza dad is like, oh my. Teacher basically goes mental, runs outside, falls over, and there's like a snowmobile approaching her. Similar to Austin Powers, she kind of looks up, and it's like 20 meters away, and it's clearly like gonna kill her if she stays there in like 30 seconds. She looks up as if she's come to terms with her fate, and it just like rolls over her and like kills her, but she could definitely have gotten out of the way. The driver could have stopped. She could have moved. A parent could have helped her. I mean, I was just cracking up because it was just like Austin Powers, basically.
Careful, Austin. Watch out!
So there's one guy in the class who kind of stands up for Haruka, and he's a kind of like loner too. He's a photographer. He sticks to himself, and they're basically planning to go to Tokyo after graduation. And you think, okay, maybe they're gonna have a happy ending together. Nope, he's a fucking psycho too. I knew it. As soon as I saw him, I was like, nah, this guy, he's mental. He's going to be doing something dodgy, I reckon. And I was right. Turns out he beats his own mother up to basically convince her to let him go to Tokyo with Haruka, even though, like, he could have just been like, yo, I'm going to Tokyo University, see you later. But no, apparently he has to beat her up, almost to the extent that she's dead. And then it turns out when he went in to save Haruka's sister, he stopped and he took out his camera and he took a picture of the burning bodies. So maybe he could have saved her earlier, maybe he could have saved the mum and dad, but he stopped there, got out his camera and took a picture of the bodies burning, and then rescued the daughter and took her outside. So yeah, fucking psycho, mate. Just proper mental. Haruka eventually finds out, and in true Legolas style, fires a bow and arrow while he's taking a picture of her who's been stabbed. I told you he's mental. Like, the love of his life has been stabbed and she's like dying on the floor. He gets out his camera and is taking a picture of her, but then she picks up a crossbow that another bully was using, and she just fires it like one-handed, and it goes through the lens, through that lens there, and just goes into his eye. He then drops the camera, and then he falls to his knees, and the fucking blood that comes out of his eye is... I was literally like, fuck! It's like... Good death. But yeah, I liked the whole setting. I liked that it was set in the snow and there was loads of blood. Kind of, it was similar to that 30 Days of Night, you know, where it's like in Alaska, and there's like the whiteness of the snow and the redness of the blood. The main bully wears white, so sometimes it's really hard to see. I think that was like an effect maybe. I don't know what it was. I'm too dumb to know what it was, but she's basically like walking through the snow at one point, and I was like, where is she? But because she's got basically like light brown hair because she's dyed it, you can just basically see her hair. So I don't know, maybe that's some like film shit, or I don't know, I couldn't make sense of that. Stupid exaggerations aside, not bad actually. I'm gonna give this film 6 gaijins out of 10 because it was good. I wasn't bored throughout it. I watched it in Japanese with Japanese subs, so I probably understood 70 to 80% of it, but you don't need to understand it. Like, even if you don't speak Japanese, just watch it for the gore. I mean, it's decent. There are better films out there, and hopefully I'm going to start doing some more horror and just Japanese movie reviews in general, so I'll let you know what I think. But there is an English dub version available, not on Netflix, so maybe you have to rent it. I believe it's on YouTube, but you'll have to double check. But yeah, decent, gory, some good montages, decent camera work as well, and good deaths. If you're into Japanese movies like Battle Royale, Kill Bill, maybe this is for you. Maybe this is up your street. So yeah, give it a watch. Let me know what you think. If you have watched it, let me know what you think about it. Cheers for tuning in. Let me know any other movies you want me to watch. I'm going to watch the most fucked up Japanese movies ever and just let you guys know what to watch, what not to watch. Yeah, just leave it to me, guys, because I want to get into it. There's some like proper dodgy stuff out there. Like even the rom-coms, Japanese rom-coms are fucking mental, man. They're like, I mean, they're all basically like pedos fancying junior high school girls. So it's going to be weird if I kind of go to a store and rent that out. But for you guys, it's worth it. Anyway, cheers for tuning in, guys. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned for some more Gaijin reviews. Sayonara.